I have been sincerely not looking forward to this frame, and unfortunately she has been pushed up my list, as the Allegiant Discord is good for many things. I won't be naming names to be nice to this poor gent. However, this someone posted a straw poll to try and make an unpopular frame, and in a show of good faith, I offered to do an analysis for whatever frame to assist him. In this poll, there were many frames, viewed as lesser than adequate by the community in general. However, Equinox was on this list. An amazing frame with many good traits. Since I know you all can read, I am sure that you know that this is not that video. Banshee ended up winning, and overall, as if I were to make a tier list, as far as frames go, she sits somewhere between Nyx and Clem. I actually tip my hat to the poor bastard maining her, and at the end of the day, a promise is a promise, so on with the video. Banshee's passive, thematically, is beautiful, but usability is a joke. Weapon noises are hushed, so enemies can't hear them. So if you're stealth, you won't break stealth, and if you're trying to pick off kills from a range, this will help. But Banshee has no stealth. Therefore, that's out of the question, and upon killing an enemy, they will look at the enemy that you killed, meaning the chances of them seeing you during that are fairly high, since, you don't have a stealth. Sonic Boom emits a shockwave that pushes enemies in a range, knocking them over and incapacitating them. And I will say, DE clearly has a sense of humor, as it says incapacitate or kill enemies, but the damage on this is so low, I am running a 288 strength build, and just watch this. Three cast to kill a level 20 grunt unit, not even a heavy. You want to knock a room down, that's fine, but you ain't killing shit with this ability. Sonar, her second ability, marks enemies in a random spot, exposing weak spots for your whole squad and making them take increased damage when struck in that spot. This is what might put her above Clem for me, as this mark has a respectable range, no line of sight requirement, and can be applied multiple times to mark a whole unit if you feel like it, with a decent duration, if you build for it. This is the ability that is actually acceptable, and if not actually good to me. It's just a shame that it's kind of her only one outside of augment usage of her 3. Silence surrounds Banshee with an aura that briefly stuns enemies, and reads, limits their perception and tactical response to gunfire and warframe abilities. Okay, so first of all, gunfire shouldn't get a tactical response with Banshee, as her passive already silences her weapons, and warframe abilities are all based around CC and incap, so at what point would they respond in the first place? When you knock them on their ass with their 1, when they get stunned by her 3, or when they get tremored by her 4? Take your pick. Sincerely, looking at Banshee, you can tell that she was designed in the early days of Warframe, because if this kit got released today, it would be slandered by the general community, and this just wouldn't be released today because of the way that Warframes are designed now. And finally, Quack? No, that's supposed to say Quake. And finally, Quake. This has Banshee get on all fours and tremor enemies in a radius around her, dealing some minor damage and draining energy per second. So I've gone over a few drain powers on this channel before, Excalibur's Exalted Blade, Titania's Razor Wing, and the like, and both of these have a drain of 5 per second. Most drain abilities actually have a drain of 5 per second. This ability has a drain of an astonishing 12 energy per second. Now, granted, it doesn't require line of sight to use, but neither does Exalted Blade, and what the fuck makes DE think that this level of drain is okay for this ability? To be honest, she can lock down a huge range if you build her for it, but even at that, just play Volvin for Bastille or Vortex, or play Hildren and become the Bastille, or play Limbo and run a bubble build. Like, within the realm of area lockdown, this ability is on a whole new level of being power crept. So Banshee's saving grace is access to a few actually good augments. Sonic Fracture makes it so Sonic Boom reduces enemy armor by 70% for 8 seconds, and though having it stripped for a limited time isn't really amazing, 8 seconds is plenty of time to kill a stripped enemy, and it's cheap enough power, so it's okay really. You can double cast it to get a full strip and then kill an enemy. Not bad. Resonance makes it so that killing an enemy by shooting the revealed weak spot from Sonar creates another Sonar off of that target that lingers for the remaining duration. If you kill an enemy from their Sonar mark, and that has 30 seconds remaining, the Sonar that they then trigger will last for 30 seconds. This is okay, but personally I wouldn't run this as I don't think it's worth the mod real estate. Savage Silence is the only real build I could see Banshee players running, as while Silence is active, enemies are open to stealth finishers when they get stunned. This makes it so the stealth finisher damage is increased by 300% while Silence is active. So running this is great to be honest, but there's a few issues I foresee with running it. Running a lot of range and the fact that all of her abilities bypass walls means there's a chance that you won't make it to the target in time before the stun wears off, and there is a brief time where enemies cannot be re-stunned. And this ability can't be recast for a cheeky second stun wave, as it has to have its duration expire in order to be recast, or you have to hop into a reset pit. Both of these aren't really great options. Finally, Resonating Quake makes your Soundquake not channel and instead send out a shockwave, dealing 20 times damage at the epicenter and gradually weakening as it goes out. It's okay for DPS and a form of spammable wave CC with some damage tag to it. Overall not horrible, but this is more of a band-aid than it is an actual mod in my opinion. To me, band-aid mods take an issue and they create a simple fix. They update a kit to what it would be if it were released today. I think if Soundquake were released today, this is how they would have done it, is they would have made her slam the ground dealing a respectable amount of damage and tremoring enemies hit, with the range falling off over time. This is what the ability would have been had this been released in current year. However, since she wasn't released in current year, this is the band-aid that we get to fix that issue. This is my Banshee build, focusing on our Sonar and Stun to try and open up enemies to finishers, and since Banshee is also super squishy, giving her a chance to deal with enemies before they choose to deal with her. It's the best I could honestly think of for surviving in anything above level 50. You could weave in Rolling Guard to assist, as well as you could maybe add a Vigor or Vitality, but personally I don't think they make that much of a difference. Banshee is just an incredibly squishy frame. So adding things like that may give you moments reprieve, but it's nothing incredible. And as far as augments go, I don't own any of them, but if you had to pull my leg, I would definitely put the one on for the silence. Banshee is just bad, in my opinion, and the greater part of the community feels the same way. She's an area lockdown frame that just gets outclassed and outdone by everyone and everything. Sincerely, I hope she gets a soft rework, as Sonar and Silence are okay, but nothing to write home about. Her 1 is laughable, and Soundquake is just not good as it gets outclassed by other frames versions of Lockdown. I can't really say anything else about her. I don't recommend her for anyone, new players and veterans alike. And my little Allegiant friend, if you're watching, good luck. And I hope to see you all in the next video.